What's going on again? It is Wednesday night. You already know what time it is. It is Triggered with Instructor Mike and friends. I'm Instructor Mike. You got Jacob from Viper Defense. You got John from Guardian Concepts. Marquise will be in the building shortly. If you're watching by YouTube, go on ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like. All right, all that great stuff. Let's get in on the show. We got an interesting show. Some people already. It's gonna be a good one tonight. Yes. What's going? You have me choking up already. What's going on, Calvin? What's going on, Lorenz Jones? All right, if you're watching, go on ahead and share this. What you could do is you could create a post on your YouTube and share it. Share it on Facebook. All that other great stuff. Let's get the likes up. What's going on, Jenny? Hey, Jenny, how are you? I haven't seen you since my class. What's going on, Melvin? What's going on? All right, let's go on ahead and start with Jacob. Introduce yourself. What? Oh, that's right. I got the comment up. That's right. All right, go on ahead, Jacob. Introduce yourself, and then John, and then we'll go on ahead and get right into it. Hopefully, Marquise pops up into the show. Go.
Hey guys, just want to say hi. My name is Jacob Null. I train. My company is called Viper Defense down here in Southern Illinois. 618-521-0894, and you can find me on Facebook. And happy to be here tonight. Let's have a good time.
That's it. That's it. All right. Oh, JFB. God damn it. He said he believed he could fly. He needs to start doing so right now. Go ahead, John. Shit. All right.
John with Guardian Concepts. We're located down in Bourbonnais, Illinois. We can be reached at 815-295-6031. You can find us on Facebook. Our website is www.guardian-concepts.com. We do Illinois concealed carry. We do advanced training. We do offer some medical classes, the TECC certification. And yeah, so obviously take a look. Let us know if you got questions. Reach out. Let's have a good show.
Absolutely. And if you got questions, we're going to have some pretty interesting topics to talk about tonight. I actually came prepared this time. Isn't that something? So, yeah, I got mine too, right? All right. All right. So we are going to go on ahead and fly right into it. Do me a favor, guys. Go on ahead and tag some people into this conversation because we are going to start off talking about R. Kelly. Okay. For those of you all who do not know, R. Kelly is a R&B singer, songwriter out of Chicago who has just been found guilty in Brooklyn, I believe, the federal district in Brooklyn, of racketeering and sex crimes, things like that. The purpose of us talking about this is, you said the mayor's office was tagged. Oh yeah, thanks, Frankie. Like she is gonna care about that. But here we go. Let's go on ahead and talk about it because the purpose of talking about this is not to talk about necessarily the details of the case, because who knows the name doesn't know certain details about the case. Absolutely. We all in Chicago, we know about it. But the purpose of talking about this is to talk about a theory called routine activities theory. And I want you all to understand how this even came to be, because I hear a lot of people talking about accountability. When are we going to hold the parents and all of those other things, all those other people accountable? You probably watched the documentary on Lifetime, Surviving R. Kelly, and you heard a lot of different people talk about what they seen and what they witnessed and how they didn't say anything. So let's go on ahead and talk about it. I'm going to dive right into it. So there is a theory in criminology called routine activities theory. Okay. Yes, this is on Wikipedia. Okay. But I think this was the better graphic to be able to represent what routine activities theory was. Okay. Those of you all who know, this is a Venn diagram. Okay. Routine activities theory is a theory in criminology where you have in the middle the possibility or the likelihood that crime is going to take place. And so you have three circles, three prongs that need to take place. And then, proximity, they get close. You got a likely offender. You got a suitable target, and then you got the absence of capable guardians. The likely offenders are these ladies, and even one guy we heard about that was victimized, in these things, right? And then you got, I'm sorry, not the likely offender. The likely offender was R. Kelly or R. Kelly-like individuals. Some of the mothers that give their children away. Some of the mothers and fathers that don't teach their children how to protect themselves. I got a sidebar today. I was just at the subway at 83rd and Holland in Chicago, and there was this mom. I was finding a parking space, but I wasn't close to her, and it was two boys. They were wearing Spider-Man, costumes or whatever the case might have been. I don't think it was costumes per se. I think it was more so jackets. But she apparently was trying to get one kid out of the street. They couldn't have been no older than 5 years old, trying to get one kid out of the street. And it was another lady walking in the opposite direction toward me. And so we both witnessed this lady grab her son and literally throw him up against the parked car, and then called him a stupid ass. And we both just got upset at that lady and confronted her. She ain't really say too much, but you just got things like that. And so those of you all who have followed me, who have looked at some of my posts, and you think I got it out for single moms, that ain't the case. I just want the bad behavior, the toxic behavior to stop. And so what you don't understand is all of the toxicity that you have that lies within you, and you don't teach your children how to protect themselves, they grow up becoming suitable targets. And then you, because you don't protect yourself, you become the absence of the capable guardian who could protect that person that would be a suitable target by a likely offender. And then you have the crime being committed because of proxemics and all of these things coming together. And so we talk about accountability, and we hear the word accountability, but when was the last time you got your ass in a concealed carry class? When was the last time you got your ass in a self-defense class? When was the last time you taught your children how to defend and how to protect themselves? When was the last time you actually did that? Your kids are going to become victims of someone because of your failures as a parent. I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm not looking for popularity. I'm just calling it like I see it. It is very possible that your kids are going to become victims of crimes because you are not preparing your kids to protect themselves. I wish it was not the case, but it actually is the case. And I'm going to yield the mic to you guys. What do you have to say about this? Because this is such a sensitive topic for me. Me writing my children's books and going on a war, in essence, against the negative behavior that causes little boys not to have a voice. And then when they speak out in defiance or, in disobedience, it seems to be where it's defiance and disobedience, and it seems to be tagged as that instead of it being them finally speaking out in a world where you're to be seen and not heard, in a world where your voice is suppressed because you're not supposed to talk. And so I don't like stuff like that. I yield the mic. Go.
So, I'll jump into this because it's actually kind of funny you say that, because our local high school is actually having this issue as we speak. Bradley Bourbonnais Community High School, there was an accusation of sexual harassment at the school from a student to a staff member. And it was initially the community, and along with the student population, felt it was being swept underneath the rug. And the students actually took it to a whole nother level. Literally, they formed a protest outside the school, and were protesting, obviously, it and everything else. And because they weren't in school, because they were doing it while school was in session, they were actually threatened with being suspended if they went back in school, all because they wanted to, voice their opinions and obviously bring awareness to what was actually going on. And now the school has started backtracking. And granted, the allegation was found to be untrue. But we all know that like social media and everything else with kids nowadays, I mean, that stuff spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
In regards to when somebody's accused of something, it's not put out in a jury of your peers. It's put out in the jury of public opinion. And in this case, again, it was found unwarranted, unvalidated. But the students, the children were speaking out because, again, initially it was felt to be getting swept underneath the rug. And that angered kids across the board. And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, sexual harassment, things of that nature need to be taken very seriously, especially with our children. But I mean, obviously adults as well, but especially with our children. And if they don't have a voice or a way to obviously talk about that, and if the adults and our staff members and things of that nature aren't taking it seriously, then they got to have an avenue in order to get justice and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Our children need a way to talk and reach people. Yeah. Go ahead, Jacob.
Go ahead.
I think what we're seeing in society is a lack or a breakdown of the family unit. And I think a lot of our problems in society are being caused by that breakdown of the nuclear family, the traditional nuclear family, with no father and no mother and no grandmothers or no big brother or no good neighbors helping each other out. I think that's a lot of issues that we have in this country stem from that. Positive role models. If these kids don't have a positive role model at home, they're going to find a role model on the streets. They're going to find a role model somewhere, whether it's an athlete or a singer or an entertainer or the local bully on the block. They're going to find a role model somewhere. So if you don't provide that for them in the house, they're going to get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Things like teaching your kids morals, right from wrong, learning how to control your emotions. Don't lose sight of the big picture. Don't lose your long-term gains for short-term, immediate feeling. It's like, well, this guy dissed me, so I'm gonna pull out, my gun. I'm gonna go shoot this guy because I'm gonna show him or whatever, right? Then you're losing sight of the long-term view. How do we say? Don't lose the forest for the trees. You can't see the forest for the trees.
Right.
To train, to teach the kids to, don't fall for that immediate rush of rage or anger or jealousy and do something immediately. Calm down, think about what you're doing, and don't sacrifice the long-term future for some kind of short-term ill-gotten gain. And stay the fuck off social media. That's what I hate to see. Is everybody's posting shit on social media.
I want to get back to dick kicks. I want to get back to swift kicks in the dicks for guys who can't take no. I'm sorry. Whatever happened to look, there's multiple sides of the coin that we could talk about when it comes down to, sexual harassment, when it comes down to, a wide array of things. But no should mean no, and it does mean no. But what happens when that person doesn't take the no? What happens when the adult doesn't listen? How can you teach your kids how to protect yourself when you barely protect yourself?
True story.
We got people that, make up all kinds of damn excuses, as to why they can't take a class, why they can't, protect their kids, why reading let's just fucking start there. Reading is a tough concept, so I don't know. This is a troubling topic to talk about, but I will tell you this. If you find it hard to get yourself into a class because it doesn't fit your schedule, if you find it hard to get your kids on a training schedule, then the funeral homes in your area can definitely fit you all into their schedule.
True. True story.
It's tough words, but it's got to be said. Like, did you really think they were going to hold everybody else accountable when the breakdown of the family is part of the plan of some people? We'll go there. We'll go there. So no, they're not going to hold them accountable because that's not for them to do. That's for us to do. And when you got fathers who want to be in the lives of their children to protect as a part of that routine activities theory as the capable guardian, when they have to deal with another parent who won't assist them in being there because of a breakdown of a romantic relationship, where the parental relationship is separate from that, you're taking away capable guardians. And you don't know how to protect yourself. That was one of the reasons why you fell into the arms of this capable guardian. And so now you're turning one suitable target into two. And then you bring a man in who ends up becoming the likely offender. And then crimes happen. And then women, little girls lose their voices. And little boys lose their voices because the mom doesn't have a voice. And it just keeps repeating itself. Now, Melvin Green is saying you're swimming against the current. So take a step back and show them that small steps are important, but you got to be willing to take these small steps. Down to Earth says these kids are a lost cause, and so are some of the parents. But you know what?
We can change that.
We can change that.
They're not completely lost. Are some of them misguided? Absolutely. But no child is a lost cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's time to redirect and fix the mindset, fix their, you know what I mean? Obviously, if there's issues, address those issues. They're still at an early age where that stuff can be addressed and fixed.
Yeah. And so it's a tough topic to talk about because even though we're going to get to the guns, I saw some of your questions on here about felons with guns. We're definitely going to get to that. And, you know, other topics that we definitely going to talk about. But this is a topic that is near and dear to not just my heart, but to the hearts of any father who struggles with certain aspects of parental alienation, certain aspects of divorce, certain aspects of the breakdown of the family, where it's a non-permissible environment to try to parent in. And then when situations happen where you want to step in, it's like you got to tread lightly, because to do so, especially in our profession, our stuff gets thrown against us. Our stuff is, gets thrown against us. And Sarita says that's why this platform and many others that are not afraid to have this dialogue is so important, because we have to break the cycles, and to anyone that we may be speaking to, be it if you're listening to the On the Mic with Mike podcast or Trigger with Instructor Mike and Friends, I want to say this for the record, and I'm sure we all share the same thoughts and feelings. We are not against women. We are not supporting absentee fathers who are not there because they don't want to be there for their children. We are not against those groups, but we are, and I know at least I am, against the bad behavior that motivates the feeling where you feel like you're not loved. We know there's deeper issues. I'm not against absentee fathers outright, because there are other reasons why they are forced to be absentee. I'm not against the woman, regardless of race, who has the toxicity issues that force her to have the behaviors that cause the issues, because there are deeper issues deep down inside of you that you may not know exist, but anytime somebody tries to point it out, you have an issue. And then what happens? You come to our concealed carry classes, and then you're looking for the gun to solve the problem.
And there's almost always there's underlying causes to those problems. You have to address those underlying causes.
Yes. And it's like Sarita said, and we're going to end with just a few little, comments, and then we're going to push on to the other stuff. We're just promoting accountability. But the thing is that it's hard to account when you don't know how to count, and you don't know what to count, and you don't know the math. And so in order to be able to account, if you really have a desire to want to protect yourself, Marquise, I know he should be here shortly. If not, that's fine.
He's running late.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, okay, cool. I know that he put out on his page that he's doing classes for those who are victims of domestic violence. And we talked about that the last show. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Look, I'm going to say it like how I say it. Don't come to me and talk about you're a fucking victim. I don't want to hear that shit. If you are alive, you are not a victim. You are a survivor. You change your mindset and you fix your fucking mouth right now. You are a survivor. And if you don't get that in your mind and you don't let that come out of your mouth, you have killed yourself before the abuser will ever get their chance to put their hands on you. You are a survivor. And I know during the month of October, if you come to me or even one of us, I'm sure we're going to all have something in those lines. You come to one of us, I'm going to say me for my company, with a bona fide case of domestic violence. And I'm talking bona fide like I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to probe. Because the other half of that domestic violence stuff is some people use it as a reason to get to the bag, to get to the free housing, to get to the free public aid assistance that comes with being a victim. But I'm talking about if you're a bona fide victim of domestic violence and you come to me, I will give you the concealed carry course. Of course, minus the range fee. You got to pay for that. But I can't do everything. But I will give you the concealed carry course for free if you are a bona fide victim of domestic violence and you don't mind me asking. Because if you're not willing to help yourself and you just want the gun, you can't come the fuck around here. Because as soon as I smell it and I sip that you're on book, I'm gonna kick you out. I'm not, and it's no reef. I'm gonna kick you out. I ain't got time for the shit. But if you're a bona fide victim of domestic violence, we will help you out, because that's the thing that I don't see in the domestic violence advocacy system, because they want you to come back because they make money off the numbers of how many people they help. So why in the fuck would they help you be free from the very thing that keeps them paid?
Guardian Concepts will do the same thing. I'm telling you right now, if you're from this area, or obviously even people that are a little bit up north, if y'all want to come down this way, October again, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you come to me, you know what I mean, you reach out to me that you are, like Mike said, you're a bona fide survivor. Okay? You're a bona fide survivor. You're not a bona fide victim. You're a bona fide survivor. If you're not comfortable in a class setting, I'll do it one-on-one.
Yep.
We will sit in the office that I got right here for 2 days. We'll go out to the range. I got a private range where we can train in a closed setting, and you can get the training that you need to continue to survive. I take that stuff very seriously. So
and you gotta want to. You gotta want the help.
Yes,
you gotta want that shit. You gotta want that, because I'm telling you, we're gonna get to the psychological aspect of that shit. It's deeper. It's deeper. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm a trigger. I am a trigger. And if I find that hole and I see that weakness, I'm going to plug it and I'm going to fuck with you until you break. Because I want you to go on ahead and break yourself free from that so you can be abused no more.
I've had students, almost every class, I'll have a female, usually females, but sometimes men, who are only in my class after they have been beaten and abused and treated wrongly for months and months or years and years. Then they decide, hey, I've had enough of this abusive relationship. They call it off. Then they want to learn how to get again and protect themselves from that guy. And I think, or that girl. And I think, you know, if you would have came to me years ago, we could have prevented all this shit. You didn't have to live like that. You didn't have to go through all that bullshit if you would have learned how to protect yourself before you got in that relationship. But I'm always glad they do. I'm like, finally, you're here. Good. No more. You don't have to live like that anymore, and I can help you do that. And I'm glad, because it takes a lot of courage for somebody to come to a class and admit the reason I'm here is because I'm the victim of domestic violence. Or, you know, my ex-husband used to beat the shit out of me and I put up with it for 10 years. It takes a lot of courage to admit that in a class.
Yes.
And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them that they're here, you know.
Man, I'm telling you, we have had tears that have been shed. We have had, you know, people, and not just the women too. Y'all just don't understand, man. And I'm not talking about y'all in terms of the three that's on this panel, because I know we do. But if you understand, you know, share this or tag somebody in the conversation. Nobody will ever know in the darkest of nights the things that men cry over. Y'all will never know.
Nope. We will always say, we got this. We got it covered. I'll handle it. You know what I mean? It's all good. I'm fine. Yeah. We're fine. You'll have everything underneath the sun.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's tough. It really is, you know. And to have the guys that come in the concealed carry class, and it happens on the second day, not the first day, because we all talking about guns and stuff like that. But the second day, when we get to the psychological aspect of it, because I teach a different type of conflict resolution, and we get down, I'm talking about guys that came in tough the first day and are bawling their ass out in front of everybody, because we create that safe space. When I let everybody know that no one in this room, myself included, can judge, and this is a safe space for you to talk and let that out. And you'll be surprised how much, you know, laughter we have, not at each other, but at certain things, when I say certain things, and then how much we cry. And it's just an emotional connection where people feel safe to let that shit just out. That's the cry they needed a long time ago, and just to be in a safe space. And then the more you begin to talk with others, this is in a concealed carry class, you know, where people are coming to learn how to use a firearm. And then the dark reality of it is, I'm teaching them how to kill each other. You understand that? Like, let's talk facts here. I don't mince words. I'm not saying I'm teaching you how to kill, you know, you all in the classroom, but the stats are what they are. 9 times out of 10, you're going to use that firearm towards someone who looks like you. And if you don't understand the conflict resolution aspect behind it, if you don't understand that anger is only the expression of a deeper issue, if you don't understand that it's not about you, but that you are the punching bag that they're trying to use, and you got to find a different way out other than that gun, unless you have no other choice. You know, it's so deeper than that.
Yes. Yep.
It's so deeper than that. And 16 hours is not enough. It's not enough. So,
and free isn't always free.
Shouts out to man. I can't wait till that day.
I had to lighten it a little bit.
You did
lighten it up a little bit.
You good, Ivory? Because it was going there for real. But that's why you got to be careful. Like Jacob said last week, and like we're all doubling down again. You gotta be careful who you go to as an instructor. Because this is nothing to play around with. We hit one of your topics.
Right here. I got some shit to say about that.
I do have a shirt that says that. You said 16 hours is not enough, should be on a shirt. Yes, I do have a shirt that says that. Keep going, Jacob.
A lot of stuff has happened since last Wednesday's show. And one of the things that I saw, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. Go ahead.
Because I hear an echo. I'm in my empty classroom and I'm hearing an echo.
just because where you are. You're coming through great.
All right. Mike, when you showed that video last week of you doing what you did in that class, and that video went viral, and a lot of people were hating on that video.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you saw some of the comments on some nationally recognized sites, but I saw some comments, and I just want you to know, and I want the people to know, I've been doing this shit since I was 18 years old, 35 years. Mike, you are a great instructor, but sometimes you do some shit that's unconventional, some unorthodox shit, right? But you did it to prove a fucking point, and you got the point across. I heard your students saying, man, what you doing? Why you pointing that gun at us, right? You were looking for a desired outcome, and you got that desired outcome. And there's no way you couldn't have done that with a blue gun. You couldn't have done that with a blue gun.
Hell.
You were looking for a specific outcome, and you got it. Now, that's the difference between a good instructor and somebody who can read a PowerPoint presentation. Because there ain't no doubt in my mind, Mike, you knew, you checked, and you double-checked, and you triple-checked that, whatever that firearm was, to make sure that it was safe and clear.
Well,
you knew that gun was safe and clear.
It was a BB
whatever
gun.
It was.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, smart folks know how to use.
You knew it was safe and clear.
Yeah.
You knew you posed no threat at all to anybody in that culture. And I'm sure you checked it and double-checked it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did what you had to do safely to teach a lesson. All right. That's the fucking difference between somebody who's been doing this shit a long time with real experience and somebody who can just do a PowerPoint presentation or read from a fucking curriculum that somebody else wrote. Okay.
Yes.
So the thing that I got to say to those haters out there is this. Have they never done force on force training before?
Apparently not.
Do they even know what force on force training is? Because I've pointed real guns at lots of people a fucking lot in my military career and in my law enforcement career. Because how else can you train things like weapons retention and felony vehicle stops and building searches and dynamic entries and hostage rescues and fugitive apprehensions? How else can you do that shit for real if you're not fucking doing it for real? That's not something you can just do a PowerPoint presentation on. You have to actually do it. And I've been shot with simunitions. I don't even know if they still make simunitions or not, but that was real bullets, real cartridges with like wax, hard wax with paint dye inside them. Yeah. Especially in the wintertime, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers would hurt in the wintertime when they're hard. And we would train my team against another team all the time, constantly, for hours and hours and hours, pointing our real issued guns at fellow officers, because that's how you fucking learn. So everybody who said, oh my God, I would never do that, I would never do that. Well, that just kind of tells me they don't know what they haven't been there. They haven't had the experience. All right. So there's a difference between a PowerPoint presenter and somebody who's actually training based on experience and real world experience.
Yeah.
That's about all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Somebody said they wanted a shirt. My concealed carry instructor, Mike, said 16 hours is not enough. Ain't enough. So that's the link. You can go to MikeBrownsMerch.com, MikeBrownsMerch.com. I'll drop the link. You ought to be able to purchase. But I got that shirt and a couple. But I got a lot of different shirts. So if you guys are interested, and I only brought that up because we said somebody should put that on a shirt. There's other shirts on here. You know, Loomis places behind the trigger. Let it come up. There it is.
I like that one.
Yeah. So it's other ones on here too. There's a couple folks that been on here and bought shirts and stuff like that. So you're more than welcome. Just let them know. All right, good. Oh, and if you buy 3 shirts or stuff like that on the website, you do get, an hour of training with me for free. I mean, of course, because you bought the merch. So at least you're getting merch and training. I mean, shit, I don't know if you can find a better deal. You might be able to. I don't know, but that's my deal. So fuck it. MikeBrownsMerch.com. All right, so I appreciate that, Jacob. I appreciate that. Yeah, Erica will tell you, and Erica's another instructor just right down the street from me. Shouts out to Kate's security detective agency. She's the training coordinator there. She does a great job training folks as well. The stories that we got coming out of the stuff. I appreciate that, Antoine. What's going on? The stories that we got coming out of the places and the things that we've seen, the things that you have seen, Jacob, same thing with, you, John, the things that we have seen, it's just no joke. So let's go on ahead. Those of y'all listen to the podcast, let's take a real quick break, and then we'll be right back with On the Mic with Mike. Don't go anywhere. All right, I had to break that because it was going to be a long stream. Now, going back into recording. And those of you all who are listening, if you want to recap this, you're more than welcome to go to On the Mic with Mike. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any place where you can find podcasts. And then you can listen to this episode. We're going to go on ahead and get right back into it. All right, welcome back with On the Mic with Mike. Let's go on ahead and get to some questions. So I had a chance to watch the McLaughlin group. I know you know what that is, Jacob. You're the McLaughlin group. What? You never seen the McLaughlin group? All right, fine. Okay. So here's this. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to pick a topic and then just give a real quick, maybe 3 to 5 minute, if it lasts that long. I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes on what you think about it, positive, negative, and then why or why not. And then we'll go to each one, and then we'll go from there. I think this will be fun. So here we go. Let's do it. Body cameras for civilians. Yes and no. Why or why not? Go, John.
Ooh, body cameras for civilians.
You like this already?
I do. Wow. Let Jacob go. Come back to me.
All right, Jacob, go.
I say no.
Okay.
And here's why. In this country, you are still innocent until proven guilty. If you record yourself, you're basically giving all the evidence to a prosecutor, to the state's attorney. Don't give them shit. Make them earn it. If you're going to be convicted for using your firearm, make them fucking work for it and make them earn it. Don't be recording yourself and then here you go. Here's all the evidence you need to throw my ass in jail. So right off the top of my head, I'm going to say no.
All right. So I tend to think yes. And body cams have saved me. So I'm just telling you, because it's not about what happened. It's about what you can prove. And the rules of evidence as it relates to felony cases are different than the rules of evidence as it relates to misdemeanor cases. Felony cases, there's reciprocal discovery where both sides have to share. But misdemeanor cases, to my novice understanding, the state has to share, or the government has to share with you, the defense, but the defense may not necessarily have to share with the state. So, you would take a lawyer to help you understand that. But I know just in my own personal situations, but not for me having not necessarily a body camera, so to speak, but my own way to record with my iPhone or whatever the case might have been. Granted, it is subject to subpoena, but I'd rather have the recording and be able to vindicate myself by an independent witness than not have it at all and it be the word of somebody against yours who is more societally convincing than you.
A lot of my use of force was recorded on video. Yeah. And it was always come up in investigations. I never lost a lawsuit. I'm glad that we had those cameras because it would actually prevent a case for ever going to court. A lot of times, once everything was reviewed, you say, no, there's no charges here. He did nothing wrong. Everything was in compliance. And here's the evidence we have. So I'm glad for that. But for civilians, man, I don't know. That's just
all right. I'm ready to give mine now. So I'm gonna.
So we got one no. We got one no and one yes. So John's gonna be John's the tiebreaker.
I'm telling you right now, it's actually going to be a tiebreaker because I'm not giving a no or a yes. The reason being, is because it's going to be based off of a lot of things for the civilians. Where do you live? What type of neighborhood do you live in? Are you living in a neighborhood where crime is rampant? Or are you living in, let's say the $1 million homes in Orland Park where, you're on a 10-acre lot and you don't see people? I guess there's a lot of things that are going to depend. Yes, I see Jacob's side. Most of us as civilians do not live in a glass house where we haven't broken some glass. Okay, let's be real. We've all broken some glass in our lives. None of us are innocent. On some occasions, for some things that we have done.
All of us have committed a crime or two.
I'm not willing to say I have it. You know what I mean? Just because I didn't get caught.
If you stole a pen, you're already.
Yep.
720 ILCS 5 section 16 is theft. Theft of mislaid property.
To sit there and say that we're all, you know what I mean, these great people that, you know what I mean, do great things all the time is just an untrue statement.
Right.
But then I can see the other side on Mike's side, you know what I mean, where there are certain instances where, yes, videotaping can save your ass. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? From a verbal argument, a domestic violence incident. Let's say that. Okay, you can't walk away. She's not letting you. For me, let's say she or he, whatever, is not letting you walk away.
Right. Yes.
What do you think is going to save your ass at that point?
A video camera.
There are times when it could be good. It would be another tool.
So,
it could be another tool to use, but it could be used against you just as easily as it can be used in your defense. And I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving legal advice. I don't know.
Yeah. None of us are giving legal advice.
Like I said, I cannot be the tiebreaker on this one because I actually play on both sides.
So it was an equal conversation.
Yes.
I can see where there could be good things from it, but just know that there could be bad things from it too.
Yeah, that's true. All right, y'all ready for the next one?
Yeah.
It's like instructor.
Here we go. Revolvers for concealed carry. Go.
I'm okay with it. Now, but see here, I will say this, okay? Depends on the revolver. Okay, if you're going to carry a revolver for concealed carry, a lot of times stick with the Ruger LCRs. Okay, because most of the time the hammerless, because it's hammerless, you can throw it in your pocket. I actually have one. I mean, if I'm going out in basketball shorts, you know what I mean? I'm not carrying a Glock on my hip. My shorts are going to fall down. Let's be real. But I can grab that Ruger LCR and throw it in my pocket and take the dog for a walk. So I'm not going to say, again, I'm not against it. I'll leave it at that. Jacob, your turn.
Okay. I have Smith & Wesson J-frame, 38 Special Plus P, 5-shot with the enclosed hammer. My wife and I both carry that gun depending on certain circumstances, certain situations. She can carry it in her purse or in her fanny pack. I can carry it in a cargo pocket. I can carry it in my dress jacket, depending on where I'm going. How concealed do I need to be? I have no problems. I teach my students pros and cons of revolvers as well as semi-automatics. I've got a couple revolvers that I bring in, but you have to know double action, single action. You have to be aware that you've only got maybe 5 rounds on board to fix a problem, or 6 rounds, or whatever it is. You have to know that they're slow as fuck to reload. So after 5 rounds or 6 rounds, that's it. You might as well throw it, hit them in the fucking head, drop it, and run away, and hope that you can fix a problem in 5 rounds or 6 rounds. There's pros and cons. They're very simple. They're very reliable. There's no such thing as a stovepipe or a failure to eject or a double feed. Those things don't happen with revolvers. So there's good things about it and there's bad things about it. And you need to be aware of that before you choose to carry one.
And if you got dexterity issues, right, you're going to feel all the energy of that revolver. I got a Bodyguard 38 plus P, and I don't care whether it's 38, whether it's 357 mag, why you would ever shoot that out of that little 2-inch barrel, or whether it's just a regular 38, you are going to feel all of that felt recoil, because I want you to understand it's not just about you owning the gun, it's also about physics too. So the gas is the longer that the tube has to dissipate, and then depending upon the caliber, that could be the difference in the recoil, plus how many points of contact in a stabilizing platform you have with that tool that you're using. If all you have is a 2-inch barrel and you have a pretty much a 9mm or a 38 diameter bullet, with that long casing, that's a lot of energy coming out of that little package. So you're going to feel all that in your hands. Okay. Also, shouts out to retired Lieutenant Dwayne Williams out of Chicago, but he lost his life with a revolver.
Yes.
And that is something that is worth of note, because with you having a revolver, you only having 5 rounds, and you not having he had tactics, but I think where it was where after he lateraled, pulled his gun out, shot. For those of y'all who don't understand, it was a story out of Chicago on 118th and Western on the southbound side of the street, southwest side of the street, at a popcorn shop. He was just leaving out of a popcorn shop, and there were these guys that were looking to carjack him. He was driving he owned a Jeep SRT, and so that was during the height of the carjacking phase. We still got it, but it's kind of simmered down now. But 3 guys get out of a car and they run towards him. Lieutenant Williams saw one of the guys coming up, lateraled out to the passenger side front quarter panel, and then grabbed his revolver. As soon as the guy came up, he shot his revolver at one of the guys. The guy didn't get hit, but he dropped below the driver's side front quarter panel, which is suppressive fire. That is a tactic, okay? And then that was what? 1, 2, I think 3 shots, and he had 2 shots left. Sometimes when you don't understand that you don't need to shoot him to be successful all the time, depending on the circumstance, that suppressive fire and them running away is just as good. If you only got 2 rounds left and you don't have any speed loaders, and if you don't know what the hell I'm even talking about, the term speed loaders, you don't need to own a revolver. That's, you know what I'm saying? Speed loaders are the magazines of the revolver world, and for every 1 magazine, 15-round mag, you need 3 speed loaders. If it's a 5 round. So you're going to be carrying a pocket full of change, and your homeboys do too, because that's what it is. You only got 5 rounds. You kind of feel like if the odds are against you, you got to at least get one of them. And it suffices to say, I think that was one of the things that motivated him to go around his cover, which was the engine block, which would be the perfect place to stay, or at least for that moment to, so where you can OODA loop what you're going to do next, observe, orient, decide, and act, and just chasing after the guy was where that one guy who was running away was able to get that lucky shot that shot him center, hit him center of mass in the chest, and, died subsequently after that. And so you got to understand that, when you carry a compact or even a subcompact type firearm and you got 2 or 3 or 4 mags on you, you're not really chasing after shit because you got enough ammo to be able to hit a person from behind cover. That's why tactics definitely matter. Tactics matter. Go ahead, Jacob.
Well, that's why I think that lieutenant, it wasn't the fact that he had a revolver that got him killed. It's the fact that he moved from behind his cover that got him killed. The revolver, yeah, he may have ran out of ammo because he didn't hit. I think he hit one of them. Didn't he hit one of them?
Yeah.
I think he got 1 hit in. But he may have been able to stay in place and defend himself from behind the cover of that engine. But it's when he moved out from that is when he got hit. He could have stayed in place. He might have survived or backed up, went back in the store, something. He might have survived.
But this is what I mean. And the store would have been a bad idea because it's all glass over there. So they would have seen him in there. No place for him to go unless he's going to hide in the kernels. But, I think that what I mean when I say that the revolver is one of the motivating factors in motivating him to move from his position of cover is because, I can tell you this, my bodyguard 38, there's, you see what I'm saying? There's no aim. There's no aiming with that.
Right.
Yeah, I effectively call my revolver D punch, and D as in dick punch. You get what I'm saying? Because it's literally one of those pull, point, pop. It's like taking a knife and stabbing. You're not aiming, you're just thrusting. Same concept with that revolver. You're just popping. It's a close quarters type thing. It's designed for that. But when you're when your threat is gaining distance and still has the potential to be a threat because they could turn around, you kind of want to close that distance to increase the possibility of you hitting because he's been to the range and aimed and knows that there's no aiming to that. And so that knowing your tool could be a motivating factor in why he might have moved around cover because you only got 2 rounds left and I got to hit something. Who the fuck do these guys think they are coming to me while I'm at my favorite popcorn shop in Beverly where this shit don't happen? Because if it was Inglewood, he would have stayed inside. He would have stayed right by that hood. And I'm not talking about just using this as an example.
I call it a get off me gun. Any gun that small, you're not going out getting into a long distance firefight with anybody. I'm not trying to do anything. That gun is simply get off me from bad breath distance, basically. That's how I explain it.
Yes,
You know?
but let's be
Fucking
honest. I mean,
point and shoot, and that's about all you can do with it. So it's better than nothing. The first rule of being in a gunfight, number one, is bring a fucking gun. So a revolver is better than nothing, and if that's all you can operate, then by all means carry a revolver.
I agree.
And it's one of those things that, again, self-defense shootings, okay? But again, we're talking self-defense. If they are 40 yards away from you, you're not in a self-defense situation.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? Again, majority of the time, it's within 9 to 15 feet that you're getting attacked. Those are the statistics from Jeff Gibbons, who has studied thousands upon thousands of defensive shootings across the U.S.
Yeah.
The stats that I know and that I train, and maybe something's changed in the last 2 or 3 years, but I call it the rule of threes. Most times when a civilian uses a firearm in self-defense, I call it the rule of threes. 3 yards or less, 3 rounds or less, and it's over in 3 seconds or less. So that's close and fast and violent, and it's over real quick. The rule of threes.
Even though tachypsychia, which is the perception that time is slowing down, is a psychological phenomena that makes you think it's going slow, it's actually not.
3 yards or less, 3 rounds or less, and it's over in 3 seconds or less.
Yes.
That's what I train.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. We all know, great conversation, you all. Great conversation. Here we go. William Nunn said, actually had no more room for how many mags he's carrying on him. All right, here we go. I see what you said, Patah. CPD just did a press conference on the shooting that happened on Milwaukee and Kinsey. 5 shot, including the gunman, 4 innocent people shot, though. Yep, I got to get the specifics of that. So stay tuned for that, guys. That'll probably be on the next show. Let's go on ahead and dive into it. We all know what season is coming upon us. We are in the fall and in the winter season. And so for those of you all who do carry concealed, or those of you all who are thinking about carrying concealed, is that another topic that you talked about? I'm just, all right. You get to start with it since you got a whole list. I love it. Y'all see, John's got his pad. It's behind the flag. I got to give you props. All right. Winter carry tips. We're going to start with Jacob. Go.
Yes. Thank you. Because it's right here from last week.
Yes.
Tell your students, don't be surprised if they have more than 1 gun for carry. Okay? I could carry a single stack Glock in the summertime with nothing but shorts and a t-shirt for cover garment. But in the wintertime, I can carry a bigger, more powerful gun, and that is your goal. As a concealed carry licensee, your goal is to carry the most powerful handgun that you can operate safely and shoot accurately. But yet it's still small enough that you're actually willing to carry it. So there's a balance. I want the biggest, most powerful gun that I can shoot and operate, but it's still small enough and lightweight enough that I'm actually going to carry it when I leave the house. So in the summertime and down here, and it's hotter than a motherfucker and it feels like 110 degrees, I'm carrying a single stack Glock with a t-shirt as a cover garment. But in the wintertime, actually now, fall, winter, and spring, I'll carry a double stack 40 caliber Glock because it's more powerful. I've got more ammo on board, right? And I've got more cover garments. I might have a flannel shirt or a coat, which allows me to carry a bigger gun because I'm not printing as much. It's not, I have those cover garments that allow me to carry a more powerful gun. And here's why. Because in the wintertime, your attacker, if God forbid you are the victim of a sudden violent attack, you're going to have to get through all those clothes and the skin and the muscle and the bone to get into something vital. So in the wintertime, you're wearing a big ass heavy coat and a parka and a hoodie and whatever. You've got to penetrate all that shit before you even get into the body. Right?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I carry the biggest, most powerful handgun that I can safely operate and accurately shoot, which for me is my Glock 27 40 caliber. I bought it in February 1997, and I love this gun. I fucking love it. But in the summertime, it's just a little too much. In the summertime, I don't need to penetrate a coat and a hoodie and coveralls and all that other shit, right? Summertime, if I get attacked, dude's probably gonna be wearing a t-shirt. So I can get away with a 9mm, a good 9mm defensive round in a single stack configuration allows me to carry it with lesser clothes on, with less cover garment. So I tell my students, don't be surprised if you carry, maybe you got a summer gun and a winter gun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely suggest getting more than one firearm anyway. I had a student who called me right as I was on break for a concealed carry class, and he was involved in a shooting. And the police did exactly what police do. They take your firearm as evidence. And so now you got to go back through the whole, well, I got to go purchase a gun. I got to wait 3 days in order to be able to pick it up. But the state is not fast with their background checks. So sometimes you got to wait a week or two. And so listen to what we're telling you when we're telling you these things, because we're not telling you these things for our health. We're telling you these things because you may only be able to see the trees as a new gun owner or as an inexperienced gun owner who has owned a gun for years, but doesn't have that actual experience that people go through when they go through a shooting or investigations and stuff like that. Hundreds of thousands of people carry guns, and not all of them, matter of fact, millions carry guns, but not all of them have been in circumstances where they've been pressure tested, where they've had to put this knowledge to use. So we're telling you this because you don't know, and we don't know if you're going to find yourself in that situation. Sometimes you may never know until it happens or just happens upon you. Okay. John, go.
When it comes to wintertime, I mean, I'm in that full aspect of fuck around and find out, because you may get shot with a Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Okay.
I will say this. Can I add one more thing?
Go ahead.
Let me add. If you're going to carry, here's what I recommend you don't do. Okay, you're going to have more than one firearm, because where you go and how you're dressed may dictate what gun am I going to carry, right? So you find yourself with more than one gun, at least keep them all in the same family. If I like guns with manual safeties, thumb safeties, then every gun should have a thumb safety. If I like guns without thumb safeties, then every gun should be without a thumb safety. Keep them all in the same family. I'm a Glock guy. All my defensive guns are Glocks. Sitting in my bedstand, sitting in my truck, sitting on my person, sitting on my countertop. Everybody in my family knows how to shoot Glocks, okay? They're safe, they're reliable, they're accurate, they're dependable. And that's the number one goal, is I've got to know that my gun is going to go bang every time I pull the trigger. But don't be the gun of the day guy that says, oh, today I'm going to carry this 1911, and the next day, oh, I'm going to carry this, Taurus, or the next day I'm going to carry this Glock, and it ain't got no external safeties on it. Don't do that. If you like Smith & Wessons, get all Smith & Wessons. Big, small, smaller. If you like Kimber, if you like, I don't care. I don't care what kind of guns you like, but keep them all in the same family for that familiarity, because that's one less thing you're going to have to think about.
And that familiarity, and for the interchangeability or interoperability, one of those terms fit, of all the magazines.
They grip the same. They shoot the same. The sights look the same. They rack the same. The trigger feels the same. Same. Doesn't matter which gun it is. They're all the same.
And practice with your clothes.
And that's what I was about to say. You know what I mean? That's what I was about to say. You know what I mean? Obviously, yeah, I said what I said. You know what I mean? In the wintertime, fuck around and find out. You may get hit with a deagle. It's one of those things that, again, we're obviously, and no, I'm not inside the waistband carrying a freaking deagle.
You better not.
Completely uncomfortable. I have tried it, though. Not comfortable at all. Okay? Which is why that's a wintertime weapon, because I can hide that under a hoodie like no tomorrow. But again, you need to train with your clothing. Okay, we are adding on layers upon layers of clothing. For me, I wear the minimal clothing needed in order just to stay warm. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. You will not see me with some ginormous poof jacket in the middle of winter. The most you will see me with is a hoodie and maybe a sleeveless vest on over that hoodie. Because again, minimal amount of stuff in order to clear if I have to get my firearm out.
I very, very, very rarely wear gloves in the wintertime, because gloves will break
out shorts in the winter. You're absolutely right.
That's one more thing.
I will wear some shorts in the middle of winter.
If I need to wear gloves, that'll be my old Army flight gloves. They're Nomex gloves, and they're real thin, and just for as long as I absolutely have to. I don't even own a great big fat pair of insulated gloves because that's going to impede your draw stroke.
Really, really. Thank you, Frankie. Frankie Monahan has just been on a roll today.
Yeah, he has. He's been on fire. Everything.
He's
back up.
Yeah. Let me see that. No. All right. So for those of you all listening on the mic with Mike podcast, we'll be right back after this. All right. Stop that. All right. So here's the next question where Marquise is on. What's up, buddy? What's up, man?
What is going on?
You got a smart guy glasses on and shit.
Yeah, tonight I was Professor Hulk. So
that's it.
Marquise.
What is going on, gents?
What's going on, brother?
Peace. We were just talking about concealing carrying a deagle in wintertime.
9, 44, or 50?
Oh,
50.
Lord. He was talking about 50. We're back
50.
on the mic with Mike. Marquise Miranda from P6 Firearms Training has joined us. All right. We're talking about John Hamperkamp and his deagle. Shouts out to
If my man is gonna go ahead and walk around with a deagle in the winter, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Fuck around and find out.
Exactly. Faithful. Faithful. I'm so in other words, stay away from John
right
during the winter.
Right.
Because it's gonna hurt.
William had to bring it back up. We were talking about John's shorts in the winter and Mike's thongs. Listen, Cisco is not. Hey, you had to. No, it's.
What the hell?
You know how the comment section is about to go up like it normally does every Wednesday. And if you guys are listening on the Mic with Mike podcast, don't forget you can always join the conversation live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube channel Instructor.
Hey, hold on real quick. Raymond, it was like John put that 50 in an inside thigh holster.
Oh no, you're gonna burn your shit off.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: that ain't gonna be a woman alive walking around John talking about some all the way down to the kneecaps.
Right.
Damn, John.
Here's a man who really does it for the deagle.
Took the gray sweatpants to a whole new level.
Man.
Oh shit. All right, here we go. So what we've been doing is we've been kind of running it in the style, so to speak, of like the McLaughlin group. I love it. So we've just been picking random questions. And I got another good one. Here we go. Y'all ready? When is it okay to display a firearm as a defensive tactic? Go.
Okay. You know what,
Marquise, you just got in.
You throw me under the bus real quick. Okay, yep. So in my personal opinion, you're talking about a deadly force encounter because you're not pulling out a firearm to scare anybody. All right, you're talking about my life is on the line. I have no opposite choice. All that good stuff we heard about in the classes. But just remember, deadly force requires 4 things. You have to be the innocent party all the way through. That means if you had social media beef, you screwed.
Yes.
If you had a conversation 2 days ago and it got loud, you're screwed. So let's go with that. You got to be an innocent party all the way through.
Yep.
Second thing, there has to be no reasonable means of escape. When I say reasonable, if there's 4 lanes of traffic behind you, that's not reasonable. All right. So again, it has to be a reasonable means of escape. The other thing, this has to be the amount of force necessary to stop the threat. If showing my gun is enough to stop a life or death encounter, then I can see that. If it's enough to stop a life or death encounter, and last but not least, it has to be an immediate threat. If it's not an immediate threat, you kind of playing with your life, you playing with your freedom. You know, the thing is this. I feel like this, and I'm going to always say this. What would you do if you didn't have the fire? What would you do if you didn't have the firearm? All right. It's just literally, what would you do if you didn't have the firearm?
And that's where I was talking. We were talking about that last week. Like Marquise was saying, the firearm is nothing more than a tool on your belt. Okay, it is a tool. And usually on a tool belt, we have more than one tool. Okay, whether that be the ability to talk and get out of the situation, de-escalate the situation.
I'm trying to send John these glasses.
They are way too close in order for you to pull your firearm. It's not the right time. You don't have the right angle. You don't have enough distance in order to draw that firearm and get on target.
Yeah, when it comes down to angles.
Because if they're a foot and a half away from you and you go to draw, they're going to be on you like white on rice. Turning that firearm towards you. And again, majority of you do not have the training to retain that firearm and keep it effective when people are that close.
Preach. Weapon retention is not just the holster. Weapon retention is everything.
Out of the holster.
It's in and out of the holster. And if you ain't got those abilities, I'm telling you now, man, you know, a gun is a liability. I'm telling you, a gun. So let's look at life. A gun is already a liability. A gun is a liability if you don't train with it. A gun is a liability if you just own it. And God forbid, if you go by the media, you already the devil the minute you bought a gun. You know what I'm saying? The minute you buy a gun, you already the devil, because when you look at the news, it's guns out here killing people. It ain't the humans. It ain't the humans with the guns. It's guns killing people. And I tell all my students the same corny ass dad joke that I always tell them in class. I am mad that I spent so much money on guns and my guns don't do nothing. Yeah. My guns don't load themselves. They don't walk out the door. They don't shoot nobody. They don't reload themselves. I got the laziest guns in captivity.
You said you need to ask USCCA this question. You know what? Next session, we're going to bring Dominic Cantanella in on this as well. And of course, we'll have more questions to put out there as well. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Let's continue. Defensive gun usage, showing a gun. Okay, so yeah, we know what you meant, William. I actually did this. I mean, of course, I've done this before, but I'm talking about like in a situation where I end up get my first arrest, right? So I ended up doing this, ended up getting falsely arrested, and I was able to explain to the judge, that in that given situation, especially given the circumstances that was surrounding that, learning the, high compress ready, where you have your firearm to your chest, stuff like that, where you're not pointing the muzzle, where you have it in a position where it's showing the ability to be able to, provided there is a quick thing that takes place and I need to snap to and put that muzzle up on the threat. Oh, he got his glasses. Go on, take glasses on, Jacob. There you go. There you go. Take a picture of this, guys.
I got bifocals, so I got to look up.
I knew you when John sat up. I knew John had his glasses. So those are.
You know what? Yep. Again, Professor Hope had to come out tonight. Yeah, at the range. Y'all gonna leave me alone.
Fair enough. All right, but yes, in that given situation, right? wait, John. We can't. John, what was that? Oh shit! Listen, sorry that we're being shallow and pedantic, but oh my god! All right, long and short of it, yeah, what Marquis said was exactly correct. As long as you're able to show that, and Frankie took a picture of it and sent it to me in the Facebook inbox. So we're going to put that up there. I saw that, Frankie. As long as you're able to show that it was definitely an option that you had no other choice but to use, and that it assisted in taking the threat down or bringing the level of force down, judges are pretty reasonable. Of course, this depends upon what jurisdiction you're in, because that's another thing too. See, sometimes people, the advice that works for one person in a given jurisdiction is not the advice that works for everybody in the United States. Like in Kane County, in DuPage County, you might be able to get away with certain things, where in Cook County, you might be able to get away with certain things. And then Cook County, you probably won't be able to get away with most things. But if it's involving a gun, yeah, in Cook County, you're probably screwed. It just depends on the circumstance. Like I tell you, I told you all before, I listen to Bond Court every morning. And Felony Bond Court is at 12 o'clock p.m. on YouTube, Cook County Courthouse, Layton Criminal Courts 100. 12 o'clock, you either get Judge David Navarro, Judge John Like, I forgot the other judges, 2 other female judges. But shouts, I gotta give props to Judge Like. I gotta give him his props. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I gotta give him his props because he is a tough judge, but he is extremely fair. I remember him when he was a defense attorney. And if it seems like that the defendant's not getting a fair shake, he will, he's not one of those judges that just throwing people out of there. He actually values his job. So I'm going to give him a shout out. Judge John Like, if you're watching this, great job. Continue to be fair, because that's what we need, is fair and impartial justice. And the reason why I'm saying this is because just because you do everything right as a concealed carry licensee, that doesn't exempt you from being arrested. You can do everything right and still get falsely arrested. And so because that's the case, you want to know that you're going to have a fair justice or a fair judge who's not going to look at you and give you some kind of special treatment, but at least hear you out and has the experience commensurate with someone who should administer justice in a fair and impartial manner. And I have not heard Judge Like since he became a judge, and then listening to him in Bond Court, he's been amazing. So I just got to give him his props. Continue, guys, with the conversation, and we'll go on to the next question, unless you guys are done.
I'll say something real quick. I think the question was, when are you justified in drawing your firearm?
Yeah, when is it okay to display a firearm as a defensive tactic? Yes.
Okay. So keep in mind that drawing your firearm and pointing it at somebody, or let's say displaying it, could be considered use of force. That is use of deadly force. Why? Because the person you're pointing it at has a reasonable fear that you could cause them death or great bodily harm. Yes. So we don't fire warning shots. We don't try to shoot into vehicles. We don't do none of that shit. We don't even point guns to scare somebody away, because that is considered deadly force. Okay. Now the law on use of force clearly states use of force in defense of a person. A person is justified in the use of force against another when and to the extent that he reasonably believes that such conduct is necessary to defend himself or another against such other's imminent use of unlawful force. Okay. So that's use of force in defense of a person. If you're drawing your firearm and displaying that or pointing that, even if you don't intend to shoot, you're just trying to scare them away, that is use of deadly force, which is likely to cause death or great bodily harm from the other person's perspective. They have a reasonable belief. So when are you justified to do that? Then you're justified to do that when you're justified to use deadly force, which is when you are in fear of death or great bodily harm, or to prevent a forcible felony, okay? Which means fear of death or great bodily harm to you or somebody else, okay? A violent felony, a forcible felony, in which deadly force is being used. So you can draw only when you're justified to fire, which is only when you're in fear of death or great bodily harm to yourself or others, or to prevent a forcible felony. Now, that's all I got to say about that, because I'm not going to teach a free concealed carry class on Mike Brown and Friends. You want to go in depth with all this stuff? Then come to a class. Get your ass in a class, and we'll talk.
For those of you all who have a problem, for those of you all who have a problem getting a concealed carry class on your schedule, AR Leak will be happy to put you on theirs. Ooh.
And for those that complain and say a concealed carry class is too expensive, have you checked the price of a casket lately? How much is a casket?
Preach.
AR Leak's gonna be like, I don't like the fact that you're giving us free advertisement, but you are right.
Right. And they provide transportation.
And they do, yes, to and from the dirt.
Mm-hmm. And that shit ain't free either. Somebody's still paying for it. It still ain't free. Ain't nothing free.
I think that this has been a
I heard it. Free isn't free.
Free isn't freedom.
Free ain't free. And 21 foot ain't a rule.
That look at Marquise. We had to say that. All right, here we go. Here's another question. Is it okay? So we have heard statements such as when the police talk to you and if you're innocent, why not just tell them what happened?
No.
Oh, no. Hold on. There's a question to this. Keep going.
What do you think? That was my question. Go.
Oh, that was the question?
That was his question. The question was, if you believe you're innocent, why not just tell them you're innocent and why you're innocent?
So simple answer, the DA makes the charging decision. That's the simple answer. The simple answer is the DA makes the charging decision, not the cops.
Yep.
That's the simple answer. If y'all want to go more in depth, more power to you.
Ain't nothing more to go in depth. If you want to figure out the legal process, then I guess you better show up to a class.
That's right.
Here's what I tell my people, and this ain't going to be a free class because free ain't free. But keep your motherfucking mouth shut, because there's a thing called false memories. If you tell the police when they get there, and after they've got you cuffed to sit in the back of a squad car, and they say, what happened? And you start running your mouth, and all these false memories come in, and you say, well, dude jumped out of that white Dodge Ram, and he come at me with a knife, and I yelled, get back, get back. And when he got 21 feet away, I shot him. Or he was 25 feet away, or he was 10 feet away. And I shot him 2 times, and then he dropped to the ground. And after the investigation, after they review the videos, and after they talk to witnesses, and after they do the physical crime scene investigation, they find out, you know what? Actually, that wasn't a white Dodge Ram. It was a white Dodge Dakota. And actually, he wasn't 10 feet away. He was 25 feet away. And you say you shot him 2 times? Really, you shot him 4 times. And you said you yelled at get back, get back. Well, the witness says you yelled, what the fuck? Before you shot him 5 times instead of 2 times. So then there goes your credibility. If everything you said was wrong, even a little bit of what you said was wrong, that could be used against you because everything's being recorded. It's being written down. It's being recorded on body cam video, whatever. And that could come back to be used against you. So that's why I say, don't tell them shit. You tell them, I was in fear for my life. I'm the victim of a violent attack. I want medical attention. And then I ain't saying shit till I talk to my attorney.
All right.
You know what? And I'll add one more piece to that. The mind can't go where the body hasn't been. Think about what's happening before it happens.
And I will give you things from a legal perspective. Okay. I will tell you this. Ohio versus Rayner, 532 U.S. 17, 2001. The Supreme Court quoted the Grunwald decision in 353 U.S. 391 that truthful responses, this all stems from the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It states in part that no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself in a criminal trial. And Hollywood, in its devious nature, based on different agendas, tend to push a message that we tend to believe to be true, that if you are innocent, you should just speak to the police, because why would you, hide and things of that nature? They're here for us. And regardless of your feelings about the police, this is not an anti-police rhetoric show, nor is this an anti-police rhetoric stuff. We are not anti-police, more so than we are, helping you protect the rights that it's your job to protect your rights. And it's good to see that the United States Supreme Court, even in 1957 and confirmed in Ohio versus Rayner in 2001, where they stated that truthful responses of innocent persons can otherwise be used to give the government the ability to be able to charge you because you gave them incriminating information from your own mouth. So it's not the purpose of the Fifth Amendment to just keep the guilty, in essence, from confessing to the crime, even though that is an advantage of the Fifth, but it's also to protect innocent persons, because Yes, you may watch the first 48. What the fuck do you know about a criminal investigation? Because those are montages of what occurred within the whole investigation that could have taken 48 hours or could have taken months. And so you don't know at what point in time an innocent statement could be used as evidence against you. I am a fanatic about the O.J. Simpson case, people of the state of California versus O.J. Simpson. And there is a documentary on Court TV called O.J. 25. And I love it because it goes really in depth to some of the things that you might have missed from some of the coverage of that. And so just to hear Marsha Clark, the prosecutor for the Los Angeles County DA, prosecute or talk to one of the witnesses, the alibi witness for O.J. Simpson, Ms. Lopez, and how they took an innocent statement and continued to use it against her and painted her as what she did do on the stand, which was lie. And so I'm sorry, I'm one of those legal nuts. So you got to pay attention to certain things like that. And that's why it's best to just activate your legal be quiet. And you will learn that when you come to a concealed carry class from one of us four and all of us four, because we will all teach you the same thing because we have experience beyond the curriculum. Get your ass to a class.
Hey, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to give a shout out to Frankie Monahan, because they have been tagging everything that we have talked about, from Universal Studios to Dodge to Amazon, caskets on Amazon. I mean, legit, Frankie, you are freaking awesome.
Man, aces, brother, aces.
Actually, I think Frankie might be a woman.
No, Frankie's not. Frankie's been in my
No?
Frankie's a guy.
Oh, is it? Because I went
Frankie's
to his
a guy.
Facebook page. I went to his Facebook page. I seen a couple females, so I thought it
Nah.
was a female.
Frankie's cool. Frankie's
My
cool.
bad, Frankie. My bad,
He said I'm a dude. But you know, there are
My
some
bad,
ladies named Frankie's. Frankie, but nah, Frankie's a cool guy. He really is. He been rocking with me.
My bad, Frankie.
What, 2016? Yeah, he said it was his kids. It was his kids. Here we
Go back to that last quote. What was that?
Yes, I will go back to that. Demetrius Bolden said, "This is what I was told in my class, quote, I am a victim of a crime. I would love to cooperate after I seek medical help." That's not all that you would say, but that is part of what you would say. So yes, you did hear that. You need more to activate, because just because you say I'm a victim of a crime, I would love to cooperate after I seek medical help, you have not activated your legal be quiet because you have not requested an attorney.
And practice. This is one of the things I practice: what to say when I call 911, what to say when the police get there after a shooting, what to say during a traffic stop. I rehearse that shit in my mind every day. Just practice, practice, practice. Because you're not going to, when you get that adrenaline dump and your blood pressure's through the roof and your heart rate's through the roof and you got all this shit going on in your brain, you might say something that you're going to wish later you hadn't said. So practice that, practice that. I was a victim of attack. I had to defend myself. I want medical attention, and I'm not saying anything else until I see my attorney, until I talk to my attorney. I am invoking my Fifth Amendment rights. Think of some way that you can say it. Think of a way that you can remember what it is that you're trying to get across.
Let me provide a little pushback. Be careful on the I had to defend myself. And let me tell you why. My first case where and those of you all who have known me, you follow me, I've told you I've been falsely arrested before, and so I remember when I made that same statement, right? It's different. It's different when you're prosecuting or as the prosecution's witness, as a cop, detective, whatever. And then when you yourself are the defendant, it's a different ball game. But I said I had to defend myself, and I felt at the time I had to do what I did. And the judge was like, you didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You could have did something else, but what you did wasn't wrong. And so because what you did wasn't wrong, I'm going to find you not guilty because the state did not meet their burden of proof. The witness clearly perjured that person. They perjured themselves on the stand. You were able to prove it. You were able to impeach them, all that stuff, because I tried that case myself, but which I don't recommend you do. I don't recommend you try your own case because you're a fool for a client. And I had some, it was fun and hard for me to do it myself, but whatever. So don't say you had to, because here's this. As a former detective, you don't know what kind of evidence the cops have found on scene. You don't know who they've talked to. You don't know who they will talk to. You don't know who's going to be motivated to say things. You don't know what cameras we're going to pull from. You don't know the investigative process. But the one thing I can sit here and use against you as a detective is if you say I had to defend myself. So you put yourself at the scene and you confirm that you did something by your own admission.
So this is what I would say.
Yeah.
This is what I would say, and we need to move on from this subject because guess what? Unless you paying one of us for, we not going to do this for you.
Yeah,
This is the simplest line I've ever used. This was a violent encounter. This was a violent encounter. I need medical clearance. I want to make sure that I'm okay. Now, I'm saying this is a violent encounter. Am I saying which one of us is in the right or wrong?
facts. I love it.
So I don't say defend myself. I've never taught my students defend yourself.
I said I defended myself. I didn't say how. I didn't say what the circumstances, the
I feel
details.
you, but guess what though?
I was the victim.
But again, you're still, and again, this is my opinion.
Right.
You're still trying to talk yourself out of jail by telling the cops you are a victim.
Right.
How we know? We see a person on the ground and you shot somebody. Technically, any act of self-defense that involves the use of threat of physical force or violence is manslaughter. It's already manslaughter right there. So a person has to come in and be like, person on the ground shot, this person shot him.
And I get what you're saying, because if you think about it, suspect, victim, witness, defendant, prosecution, those are all titles assigned by someone who has the authority to assign those titles. And so if you're calling yourself a victim, I get it, right? It is establishing a stance, a position, but then it's up to the courts to permanently give you that title, wherein the circumstance and the acceptance of those circumstances and the facts in the case, okay, this is a bona fide victim. So I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. And that's why y'all just, any great instructor has greater people that they can learn things from. And that makes a lot of sense. That does. It really does. It really does. I hear what you're saying, Jacob, John, and Jingleheimer Schmitz. No, I'm sorry. That's a Barney thing. But
John,
and it's right there. It's right there. That just means it's 9:30. But I get what you're saying. This is a violent encounter. I need medical attention. I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. I want my lawyer. I like that. I like that better.
Yeah.
And then let them do their investigation, because just because you think you're the victim, they may not share the same. They may not share the same.
Make the only thing that will really screw you up, and this is just in my personal opinion, is that if you don't let detectives detect and police, you're keeping yourself on a scene longer than you need to be. I mean, think about it. You got and again, correct me if I'm wrong, you have 48 hours to make a statement, right? On the civilian side.
Both civilian and law enforcement. And that's
law enforcement has 72 hours.
It varies.
It depends on what department.
Former internal affairs, so don't shoot me. But I've been, hold on. I was in there for a small period. I'm serious. I was in there for a small period of time right before I went to another department. But there is always the Garrity versus New Jersey decision where, they can always compel you. And this is what civilians need to understand too, right? When you guys Don't wait out the whole of the facts in a given situation involving a police involved shooting because of and we get it, the person, your family member has been shot, whatever the case might have been, and you want that swift justice, but you don't understand that if the police department provides that officer pressure to talk, that is a compulsory statement, and they cannot use it in what could be a criminal trial. That is Garrity versus New Jersey. Same thing with people who under the rest just stay statement or an excited utterance. This is why you got to be careful what you say on the 911 call.
Yes.
You got to be careful with that shit.
Man.
Because you could convict yourself in a 911 call talking all this because and the prosecution will clearly say this is an excited utterance statement. They didn't make you call 911. You're telling the whole story on there simply because the 911 dispatcher is asking you, but that the 911 dispatcher is not considered a law enforcement agent, so it will not be considered a compulsory statement. They're just acquiring information, and in the fact-finding process, you end up giving a lot of information that actually gives away any type of defense you might have.
Right. So we're gonna finish up on this one to move on. But let's just give you a taste. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, we're gonna find the dumbest motherfucker. I'm sorry. One will be provided for you.
Here we go.
Hey, legit, out of everyone, including our viewers, who wants, if you're involved in a shooting, who wants Mike to represent them? Raise your hand.
Wait, as my lawyer?
As my attorney. I'll take you, Mike.
Nah, because I respect Mike as a, what you call that? A character witness?
Character witness.
Yeah. Or expert. I'll take that. But the thing is this. I want an attorney to defend me. I want a detective to detect. And I want police to police. I want Mike as an expert witness. I want John as an expert witness. I want Jacob as an expert witness. Because guess what? Mike said the wrong damn thing. We both in jail.
Boy,
bro.
And I can respect that too, because I'm gonna tell you this. There are some things. Now I'm gonna tell you this. As a person who has the false arrest and stuff like that, when I tried my first case, I only had a slight upper advantage because I listen to court all the time. I talk to attorneys all the time. I study, but there are so many things about the law that even I am learning, but I'm probably just a tad bit astute, but I won't put myself in the category of a lawyer because I can't wait to get to law school for law school to humble my ass. So, but but definitely as the expert, a character, witness, I'll do that.
Right. Like I've told people, I'm like, you know what? I love cooks. I love chefs. And I'm like, when you go to those really, really good restaurants, you got a chef, a sous chef, you got my dessert people. You got people in specific roles for a reason.
Right. So
one person ain't always, head under the water trying to figure everything out. Use the team. Dude, yes. Let me get my, I hate he brought this up today, but you did. O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
Bruh, I'm sorry. I know it was some angry people out there for O.J., but I need y'all to understand something, dude. You only get charged for what you did.
Yes.
No one proved O.J. killed Nicole. They proved O.J. had something to do with killing Nicole.
All right.
You didn't prove he did it. You proved he had something to do with it. But what was the charges? The charges was you did this. What did the evidence show? You knew about it though. You helped. You knew about it. But you know what? We can't quite put the glove on you. We can't quite put the knife in your hand. We can't even quite put you in the area where it happened.
until
But
OJ,
you know you had something to do with it.
until OJ dumbass went on and did that whole confession like he was talking to Charlie and shit. Did you watch that shit? You got to. He talked about it as though he was a third person and said it was this guy. His name was Charlie, and if it was a third, I'm sorry. It's y'all gotta.
Bruh,
Frank, you seen that, didn't you? Oh
you
my
know what though?
God, dude.
I think what totally blew me. I think what blew me about that case was several years later. We're talking like maybe 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
Where supposedly they found a knife that was buried in a backyard. I'm like, get your monkey. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Shit's not.
You ain't found no knife buried nowhere because we all know when OJ went to trial and everything else, you mugs went to jail looking for witnesses. You went to hell looking for witnesses. You went to Williams and Sonoma to go talk about knives with witnesses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You went to Cole's gift registry to talk to witnesses. Like,
that,
come on,
knife,
man, stop.
That knife was somewhere between Los Angeles and Chicago. That shit.
Right. My man act like he was the Monkey King and was like,
right. That knife could be in Capone's restaurant on Roosevelt.
hey, some of us might have used it if you went to Gibson Steakhouse.
I swear to God, Ruth and right.
This tastes actually medium rare.
That is that. Look, I'm just saying, man. But that, you know what, you are exactly correct, because looking at the whole DNA evidence, like Barry Scheck was the perfect person to deal with the DNA evidence because Johnny Cochran didn't know a thing about that. Like for Johnny Cochran, whether you and OJ did that shit, and you know, I'm just saying OJ did that shit. But
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, and Epstein didn't kill himself, and you know,
yeah,
yeah. But when you look at the defense team, like Robert Shapiro by himself would not have been enough to win OJ anything, because that just was not his strength. For the angle of the case and the mood and speed of what was going on in Los Angeles County, specifically Los Angeles proper, you needed a Johnny Cochran to do what he did. You know, and I learned a lot from him that evidence doesn't win the day. It's juries like stories, and our side is to tell the story better than the other side tells theirs. You know, you needed who else did they have? You got the Barry Scheck with the DNA. Oh my God, you needed F. Lee Bailey. Shouts out to F. Lee Bailey. Rest in peace. You needed him. I learned more about him in this OJ 25 documentary about him, and he's got some books, and I'm going to read them. You needed someone like him to be ballsy enough to just straight up ask Mark Furman about the whether he had said that and just driving the case straight through. You needed that. You needed a softie like Chris Darden and his sensitive ass. You know, you just need it. Was just the perfect recipe for the acquittal that should not have happened, but did, because of the justice system and the money that allowed O.J. Simpson to be able to afford that kind of defense. And so the question I ask is to you concealed carriers, what say you? Do you have any insurance? Do you have any attorneys? Do you know a Dave McDermott? Do you know, hell, I even give you Lauren Middleton, I guess. You know, do you know some high-powered attorneys? Go ahead, Marquise.
And this is what I've told people multiple times. You know, we always get into the conversations about systematic racism and court and everything else. And it's like, well, there's the white people court and the black people court. Y'all keep playing games if you want to. All right. I'm going to tell you like this. Court knows one color, green.
That's it.
It's just green. Because think about almost every rapper who raps about their whatever they say they do. Because again, either you lying on your albums or you telling the truth and no one gives a damn. Because if you look at what happened with T.I. was charged with sex trafficking. This dude's still free.
Yep.
He's still free.
Yep.
If R. Kelly had the money, because think about his first case, he had the dough, and he, 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100 This case, he ain't got no dough.
He was also charged in state court. In the feds don't like to lose.
You didn't have the right attorney. He only had one.
Yeah.
So you telling me if Kelly had the dream team,
he had the Section 8 lawyer.
Ain't even Section 8, dude. He had the Obama phone lawyer. Like that was no signal. That was no signal, dude.
We better.
Oh, so what you saying he's got Mike's internet?
That's why I was trying to stop. Not saying. Look.
You know what?
Damn it! Look.
You know what? I'm not gonna do this with y'all.
I'm just saying. I don't know if it would have mattered. I think. Don't get me wrong. He would have been entitled to a vigorous defense.
You know what? I take that back. I withdraw my last statement.
Yeah.
If there was no hashtag Me Too, he would have walked.
Oh no.
Okay, let's take a step back. Do we remember Brett Kavanaugh trying to get his seat on the Supreme Court?
Brett Kavanaugh been kicking ass since he's been on the court, though.
But remember when he went to go speak in front of the House?
Yeah.
They commended the woman for not remembering what happened.
I remember that.
I have never seen that in the history of man where a person is given a deposition about an event that happened back in high school. Mm-hmm. And when certain question was asked, it was, well, I don't really remember. It's kind of fuzzy. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. And it was like, okay, I want to commend you for being honest about not remembering. Then what the we here for?
Yeah. Antoine asked a question. Why do Chicago have this BS that you can turn a gun in for a gift card, no question asked? So if you shoot someone with one of them guns and then turn it in, they find your prints on it tied to a murder. Can you be charged?
They don't check them for prints.
Well, I will tell you this, Antoine. If that's a wonderful question. I love shout out to Frankie, who just tagged O'Hare International Airport. Let's get back to the question, Frankie. Shouts out to Frankie for the color commentary. Target tagged as well. Back to your question, Antoine. Do you know that would actually be entrapment? That would be entrapment because, you know, if you and I go back and watch one of my YouTube videos. It's called the Chicago Gun Buyback Program, where I saw they were doing a gun buyback program at one of these churches in the one of these churches on the west side, and I saw what appeared to be latent one of the fingerprint kits, where it seemed to be that these guns, there was an ink pad, and then there was these what appeared to be thumbprints. And that, like I said, that looked to be entrapment to me. If you're doing it under a buyback program where no questions asked, you can't then run it and then ask the questions of the people who turned the gun in, because that they wouldn't, in order for it to not be entrapment, they would have already had to have the propensity to want to do that thing. But for you to set up the gun buyback program and then under the influence of the no questions asked, they then come in and turn it in, and then you run it, connect it, and then start to ask them questions, they could claim entrapment all day and it would work. Mm-hmm. Because you created the vehicle that caused them to drive and deliver the gun that was the connection of the chain of evidence. So I could see that being entrapment all day.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. I mean, that's like literally, I hate to say it, most television shows would tell you. Like, matter of fact, oh my God, I hate to quote it. The Boondocks. When he was messing with old girl who was well, she was a hoe. When he was messing with Cristal, like the champagne. She kept kissing him on the cheek and said, you know, if you're a cop, you got to tell me or else it's entrapment.
Right. Right. right.
I hate to say it, but television teaches you this shit.
Yeah.
Now, it's literally just one of those things. And when you look at the buyback programs, it's literally no questions asked. But then you wonder why you can't solve most of the crimes you got because your gun is in your possession already.
Frankie, is that true that Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Eddie Johnson started that buyback program? Wasn't that in existence when Mayor Daley was in?
If I say Daley and them was doing that, wasn't it?
I
thought Daddy Daley was doing it.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I remember. Never mind.
Yep, there we go. Sorry.
Like you saying want the link. Nope, because I know you got the receipts. Did they go ahead? I'm sorry.
I thought it was Daddy. I thought it was Daddy Daley.
Did they resurrect the buyback program? Oh, there it is.
Damn.
Never mind. Shit.
Ask me, you shall receive. Don't blame it on keyboard warrior.
Hey.
he a gangster in real life too now. Shit.
He is a gangster in real life, for real.
I'm gonna get
all right. Yep. So this has been a good show, a great show. Yeah, we got a lot of questions, and the thing is, I'm kind of being careful because we don't want to give it all away. We want you to come. We want you to come take a class with Jacob, John, Marquise, and myself. You know, because it's not a destination; it's a journey. What's going on, V Ward? How are you? It's not a destination; it's a journey, and you need to get into all of our classes. You really do, because we all got something to offer you and more. So, you know, yeah, man, I think this was a great show. Marquise, you know, came in at the right time. Marquise is always doing a great job. Same thing for John. Jacob has been a great addition to Trigger with Instructor Mike and Friends. I'm loving this. Yeah. I learn something every time, for real.
Then it was crazy because me and Mike was actually at the range together on Monday, and I was showing my student. No. Teaching.
Fuck? You gotta come.
You ain't that eagle. Don't get mad at us. Shit, show up. No, I'm just kidding. So what I had my students doing was I taped up the sights, so they would only have to be forced to use their mechanics to hit the target. And we was doing it on Monday, and I was just kind of cracking up, like, you know what? I want to take this to the next level. So I kid you not. I had told them a week or so ago, we're going to do airsoft. And they was like, what? I said, well, technically with airsoft, you got to wear a mask. So if you're wearing a mask, you can't really pull up the gun and use your sights anyway. You're going to have to point at a threat and pull the trigger. So they was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it. And they put some dates out there. I'm like, okay, we're going to go Saturday. So they think I'm playing. I'm like, no, we're going Saturday. So it's $45 for the whole day, including the rental.
Mm-hmm.
And they make you rent rifles. So you already know with a mask on and a rifle, bruh, it's fun to be on. And I told him, I said, here's the thing. Besides simunitions, UTM, airsoft is more of a, in my opinion, airsoft is more of a proof of concept.
Yes.
I personally, and this is just me, I can't speak for anybody else. Mm-hmm. I personally don't like airsoft for force on force.
Okay.
I don't. Because in my mind, there's no marking to make you understand the hit.
Yes.
And if you have on too much gear and that adrenaline hits, it might bounce or do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not there.
Yeah.
So, you know, if y'all want to come out and come get some, I'm going to be in Wisconsin on Saturday. And I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like being shot at by random people. And the way they're doing it is that the whole field is going to be open Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be like 50 to 100 people versus 50 to 100 people.
It's like the ultimate Call of Duty.
But hold on.
With building structures.
Yes, so now you're doing mount shit.
But hold on. So that means that I got to go out and get more training?
Hey, that is training.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I got to go out and get more training. Like, Mike's concealed carry class isn't enough.
Hell no, my shit not enough. Boy, I told you that shit. I don't
Ain't
get
none, ain't none of our shit enough. That's the reason why I tell my students to go train.
I was pointing out because someone was like, I took your concealed carry class. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh no, they were just saying that, but that's
I know in general. You know what I mean? But you hear that a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I took the concealed carry class. I'm good to go.
Oh no, that's the first thing I tell them. Boy, don't you think you gonna fucking be some superhero? You gonna get your ass killed just with this 16 hours?
We've all heard that. You know what I mean? That's not just I just use that as an example, but I've even heard that from people. You know what I mean? I got my concealed carry. Okay.
Fuck that.
So you're 1,000% good to go.
Right.
Yep. And like I said, get out there to either tape up your sights or look at a threat and try to shoot a threat or shoot a target at the range without using your sights. Because in real life, you're not going to come out and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, guys.
Right.
Be still. I'm going to shoot your legs. Yeah. No. Your eyes are going to open all the way up. You're going to take in as much light as possible because you want to see everything all at once. You're going to have constricted pupils, or dilated pupils. You're going to have dilated pupils, which is a bad thing, which is why you need to train so you don't have dilated pupils when the crap hits the fan or the feces hit the oscillator. You don't want to do that. Dilated. If you ever had your eyes professionally dilated when you get the glasses, one of the things you lose is depth perception and blurriness.
Shit, with nods, you use depth perception with the old school ones.
Yeah. So the thing is that you have to train to understand how to fight those parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system responses. You have to learn how to fight that because your body is always in a constant battle with itself.
Damn.
You know, you're in a constant battle with itself. And even one of my students hit me up today and was like, when you mentioned something in class about your right hand and your left hand, I was like, parasympathetic response. Sympathetic responses. Your left hand wants to do what the right hand is doing and vice versa. And he was like, can you explain that again? I'm honored because you remembered it enough to ask me a question. And I'm like, dude, let's go train. So I'm throwing it out there. I hope if y'all two can make it, let's go hurt some do some stuff.
I got class this weekend.
Oh, Jacob said he lost connection. He's trying to get back in. Shouts out to Jacob Noah with Viper Defense. His information is across the screen. We all have internet problems from time to time, and even down there in the area where you was pointing the right way at first because Marquise. Now fingers from up. How are your fingers getting into one screen into the next? What's going on here? All right, so Frankie Monahan says he will pay for someone's class who cannot afford it. He will pay for it in full. So yeah, you heard what he said. So reach out to me in my inbox and we will make that happen. Thank you, Frankie. Frankie's we've been rocking with each other since Anita Padilla from Fox 32 was a field reporter during all that Jason Van Dyke stuff, man. So good deal.
What?
Yeah, Jason Van Dyke.
Not you. They said I have a dial-up connection. That ain't me.
Actually, I was gonna say, Marquise, actually, you have been skipping tonight. You just don't know it.
I have?
We haven't been giving you shit because yours is an isolated incident. I got the new wireless service, and I got it from the Illinois Department of Employment Security. So, no, I'm just playing. I didn't know they had Wi-Fi services. All right. You said you brought the team to find that missing kid. I remember. Raymond Barnes, what's going on? I use my finger and my thumb at the range as a guide, so I don't have to. Jacob's back in. What's going on, Calvin Carbine? Jacob, I'm trying to see if you come up to the screen. I got you here.
Blink twice if you can see us.
Shit. All right, Jacob.
I think we all need to point at Jacob with his internet.
Yeah.
Issue.
Right. He got that strip club internet.
Whoa! Shouts out to Club O.
There you go, Frankie. Tag Club O.
What's up? Oh my God, Jacob. You got to go to Payless and log in to their Wi-Fi. He said, Mark Crow said, Marquis lagging on the McDonald's dollar menu Wi-Fi.
Wow. First of all, it is the Taco Bell special. Thank you.
Y'all are something else in the comments.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Andrew Holmes is a good guy. You said my buddy owns that place. Which one, Clubbo? Clubbo has changed.
Wait. Oh, really?
He said his buddy owns the place.
Where the hell's Clubbo?
And on 170th, right?
You didn't answer it that fast. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I don't give a shit. Whatever. It's right there, West Harvey. Yeah, you can't help. First of all, let's talk fast. You can't help but see it. That big ass O. And I've been there. Whatever. Fuck it. So.
See, I think what's the other one? That's
no.
390 or Polecats.
Hold on. Now you're doing too much. What's going on?
390 or Polecats.
Wait.
Neither. It's a sports one. It has a sports name.
No, I don't know. It's a sports bar.
I don't fucking know. Are you talking about Atlantis?
I said a sports
name.
Wait
a minute. I've been to Atlantis when it first opened up. Oh my God, it is beautiful. I don't know what it is now.
I had to take a principal there. Skybox
is no longer Skybox. Skybox had too many fights.
Okay, so that just tell you how long I've been out of that game, because
Skybox has had too many fights. Yeah.
All right, so
and a shooting too.
What about
due to the graphic?
What you just say?
He said
he did say the A word, right?
You did say Arnie's. Ever since one of the commanders, I think son got killed there. Dead. Well,
that and when they had a switch of power, and all of a sudden Arnie's got raided too.
Yeah.
And they had to switch of power inside the we're gonna say in the governmental system. Then all of a sudden Arnie's was a bad place to be.
Antoine says, I'm a mother of two young men. Well, that was during the days of Eric Kellogg. And even before him too, but that dynasty, whatever. I'm a mother of two young men grown up in Inglewood that would love for you guys to have a knowledge class for young men and women. I would pay for it and promote it once a month. You know what? As much as I would love to do something like that and even get these guys in on it and perhaps more, I'm not going to throw that away, Antoine. I'm not going to throw that away. We could talk about that because I want to do a young person's mentoring program because it's got to start somewhere. But I really need some takers. That are going to actually want to do it.
That would be my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get us all together just to blow smoke.
Yeah. Like
I would jump into it in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? I'll tell you right now. And I can see Marquis's face. He would jump into a heartbeat too. To mentor our youth, you know what I mean? And push them in the right direction. But
I thought Marquise's face was frozen up for me. Like,
oh no, I was doing a polite nod.
Okay.
So it's one of those, you know what I mean? I would jump into it in a heartbeat, but I don't want to do it if we're just blowing smoke, you know what I mean? And kids are coming in because they want to try and learn some cool shit from the guys that know some shit.
Did y'all read Raymond's comment?
So technically, he's the epitome of what I say in class, which is I want you to go home with the same amount of holes you showed up with. Like, I want you to go to work and come home with the same amount of holes you showed up with. That will be Arnie's. Coming to the stage.
It was Brenda.
Little blocker. Blocker.
There was Brenda, Tanisha, Shonda, LaRonda, Glocka, Beretta. Oh my God. All right, y'all. We're gonna go on ahead and call it. We've been kicking for 2 hours. This has been a great show. Wonderful conversations. If you got something that you guys want to see us talk about, you know how to reach out to me. To any one of us, Jacinta, Frankie Asian, coming to the stage, doing everything for those chains, Jacinta.
Coming to the stage. One shot, one kill.
Oh, dollar bill. Oh my God.
Where she go? Where's little duck?
Come here.
What
I'm
you
gonna make it
mean?
rain tonight, baby
Oh,
girl. Come
my
here. I'm gonna make
God.
it rain.
Oh,
We got coming to the stage. Her name is Shoulda Ducked.
and just like fine wine, she carries a 9. All right, let me
Why they still got vest on? That's not no club no more.
Oh my God.
You gotta take everything off. Why you leave the vest on?
Because they got to protect the First and National Bank with the small deposits. Gotta love those bees. Bees in you. Okay, let me go ahead. Oh. Anyway. All right. Next up, Wild Mag Mike. You know what, Crystal? You ain't shit. As you said, Wild Mag Mike. Oh my God. They don't have those in our. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all for being a part of the conversation like you normally are. I'm gonna try to split this up into the content so that way we can plug it up on YouTube or whatever, so that you all can watch smaller segments of it. This has been a great conversation. Come on back next Wednesday, okay? And we'll go on ahead and ride down on Jacob and make sure that he has his Obama phone turned in and got at least a Boost Mobile with the iPhone 3, the iPhone 3. We'll be right back after this next Wednesday with Trigger Mike. Yeah, look at y'all face. I thought y'all both was stuck. And I know Jacob is watching. God damn it, Mike. He's going to be in the comments. All right. Next Wednesday, we got more conversation coming up. Thank you for joining in. Marquise and John, plug your business, and then we're out.
Let's go, John.
John with Guardian Concepts down here in good old Bourbonnais, about 60 miles south of Chicago, down here in the sticks, south of 80. 815-295-6031, as you see down below. We do the Illinois Basic Concealed Carry class. We also do advanced training. We also do some medical training, or we host medical training. Let me say that. I don't teach medical. I stay in my swim lane, okay? I let the experts do what they need to do. So we host some medical, specifically the TECC class, which J5 Rescue comes out and teaches at our location. They're based out of Bolingbrook, and then they come down here to do certifications. We got a class coming up this weekend for concealed carry, October 2nd and 3rd. I got a level 1 and a level 2 tactics class, Guardian Tactics class, on October 23rd. TECC is on October 24th. That's what I got going on. I also got a couple solo private concealed carry classes, but again, those are solo and private.
They've been great.
Yes. I put that out, and within not even an hour and a half, I had someone signing up.
Yeah.
He was like, I've been waiting for someone to do, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't work with my work schedule. Okay, let's do it. Hey, man, I will toss up ears of corn, and I will blow them out the goddamn sky. Plenty of moving targets. But yeah, so that's us, Guardian Concepts. Give us a follow on Facebook. Check out our website. Actually just got done revamping the website today, so take a look. Let me know what you guys think. And on to you, Marquise.
All right, so Marquise with P6 Firearms Training and Firearms Training. I do private courses or group courses, but I do everything by appointment. I don't just throw classes out there because, in my personal opinion, I'm a firm believer that when the student is ready, the instructor will appear. That's where I come in at. Hey, how y'all doing? All call soul. All right. Now, as far as classes, the last outdoor class I have right now is Defensive 1 Pistol. That will be October 23rd. That's 450, well, technically 500 rounds. It's a whole bunch of get some for the whole day. For the month of October, what I'm doing for the ladies is you can by appointment only. You can come out and test fire the 4 top concealable firearms for women, and you pay for your range time and your ammo. I'll provide the firearms. Okay. And the firearms are to be used for testing. You can't go home with them. So I'm trying to make sure I put every caveat out there. So like, when Marquise said I can get a gun. No, that's not how this works. Okay.
Cannot be combined with any other offers or discounts. Cannot take the firearm home.
See, I like that. I'm gonna put that in a little small hashtag. And then the second thing we're offering for the month of October is every Monday I do a ladies class. We do an hour. I give them some drills, some skills and drills to do. If you would like to attend one of those courses to see what it's like on a Monday, you can participate in one of the Mondays to come see what we do and how we do. And again, by appointment only, you're still responsible for your range time and your ammo. I provide the firearms if you don't have them.
Y'all better get y'all butt in somebody's class. I'm telling you. Ladies' night is tagged.
And the shirt stays on, just for the record.
That's it.
Shirt stays on. Yeah.
That's it. All right. MikeBrownsClass.com, MikeBrownsClass.com. You said, sorry, your iPhone died, but you would be in touch. Yes. Okay. Call me. Okay. We'll go ahead and square it away. Here we go. Yes. MikeBrownsClass.com. Support the channel by going to MikeBrownsMerch.com. Remember, if you buy any 3 shirts from Mike Brown's merch, you get an hour of the training for what you purchased, right? We have different shirts that are on there. A woman's place is behind the trigger. A few other shirts. Go ahead and play with your mama. I said play with your mammy. Lord Jesus. Either way, you get it. All right. Death Not Today. We got them in various colors. You see that one's $20.99. We got other shirts that are up there. So if you get any 3 shirts, you do get an hour of the concealed, not the concealed, but you get the hour of the one-on-one training because you pay for that. You just got to go on ahead and pay your range fee and stuff like that. Okay. And here goes Marquise again. I'm going to go on ahead and put that up there because I think that we want to support Domestic Violence Awareness Month by actually providing the training, that you need. So in observance of domestic violence awareness, P6 Firearms Education and Training will be offering 2 complimentary services for women in October. 1, find your concealed carry firearm. You can try the top 4 rated. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. You can try the 4 top rated concealed carry firearms without rental fee and target purchase. You are only responsible for range fee and ammunition costs. The range is in Oak Forest. By appointment only. Okay. Free attendance for the Monday night ladies shoot. And every Monday he does a skills and the drills class with a group of ladies. Okay. So you all need to jump on that. I've extended my offer as well, as long as you're a bona fide survivor of domestic violence. As long as you're a bona fide survivor, which means we're going to ask you questions. We are going to ask you questions. You can't be one of those ones who, I don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry. That's not it, because the only way out of it is through it. And sometimes we're going to have to find those holes and plug those holes, in essence, by telling you some of the areas within you, both self-defense and even sometimes personal wise, where you can avoid ever being victimized again and remain a survivor. We want you to come back for more training, but we want you to sit there and put you on a treadmill, and then all of a sudden you go back to eating Dunkin' Donuts, because that's the antithesis of weight loss. That's the antithesis of what we're trying to teach you. We want to teach you what you need so that you can stay on top and go to a higher place. Okay.
Right.
And so
I got a couple of things real quick.
Go ahead, run it.
Hey, these are some new decals we're rolling out that we're making. This is for the ladies, as you can see, to a babe. I mean, I guess, guys, you can buy it if you want. I'm not going to discriminate. And then here's one more.
I am 1776. No one to be taking my guns. That's it.
So we do have merch as well. I'm just not as high tech as Mike is.
No, that's okay. Because when you get your merch, I want to put your stuff up on here. Same thing.
We do got hats. We do got hats, fitted and trucker hats. We got hoodies. We got shirts. All that good stuff.
And we want to support that because this is an all-inclusive channel. Same thing with Marquise's stuff. I'm going to put your website on here, and John's and Jacob's and even Jingleheimer's. I'm just saying, you get it. So we're going to – Mark Crow said he needs that second decal. That's what I'm talking about.
Shoot me a message, Mark. Shoot me a message.
Yep.
We'll get you hooked up.
Yes.
And also the other thing, too, is with the targets that I'm providing for the students, for each target that is used, $1 goes towards domestic violence and breast cancer awareness. but I'm trying to find where I'm going to donate that one to, because in my personal opinion, there are a couple of programs out there that's kind of shaky, and I'm like, I'd rather know and do the background check on them. So $1 per, it's going to be $2, so technically $2 per target.
Right. That's it, y'all. That's it. I love it. I love how inclusive. Oh, sorry, Siri decided to do her own thing. I love how inclusive this show is becoming, so and has been. So let's keep it going. We're rolling right into October. If you all know people who are victims of domestic violence and want to be survivors, you already heard the deals. You heard it. We put it out there, and we're serious. So call us on our bluff. Call us on our bluff. You know what I'm saying? We're asking for it. We want it. We want you to be able to survive, where you don't have to get any more orders of protection anymore. You know, we want your kids stronger. You know, you and your insignificant other, we ain't trying to get y'all back together, but we do want to get you all to a healthy space where we can start having more capable guardians to protect these kids, you know, to protect these women, because you can't do it all yourself. So stop telling yourself you can, because you're fucking lying and you know it, you know. And I'm gonna be the boldest one to be able to put that shit out there, because I can stand by my comments. You know, none of us are perfect, but together we stand a better chance. You know, and I want to see that. I want to see that shit for real. So from the bottom of my heart, all of us from Trigger with Instructor Mike and friends, we love you. Get your ass in somebody's class, because if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. But the minute you start caring, we're gonna help you give a damn so they can stop fucking with you. I think that's really strong right there. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.